What's up, everyone? It's day 3 of phase 1 of the Live Hard program. I just finished my 45-minute outdoor workout. I did a 35-pound ruck. The entire time I went 2.5 miles this time. It's kind of chilly. It's 47 degrees here, but the wind was blowing pretty rough, going one direction, and it was blowing me, I guess, faster than my normal pace the other direction. So I went about 1/10 of a mile further than I normally do in that time period. So I was just walking faster, like an 18-minute mile. Got a little burn out of it in my lungs just because it was cool air and I was like, working out. So it feels good. I didn't wear my gloves today, so my hands are really frozen right now. But yeah, today's been a good day. I woke up as I normally do. I did 3 workouts today. The first one I don't really count. I did a little over an hour on my tread climber at my house. Then I took my shower and did my 5-minute cold shower once again. Today sucked. I did get to the point where I knew I was done with my cardio and I was going to take my shower, and I hadn't thought about having to do the cold shower yet. But whenever I realized that it was time to go do that, a little bit of me was happy that I got to go do something hard. And it's just another win that you stack up in the beginning of the day that gives you the confidence throughout the rest of the day. So by that time I'm done with the cold shower, I will have woken up and hydrated with Celtic sea salt, water, and I use Phorm essential amino, branch chain amino, and hydration blend. You can get that at firstphorm.com/hibs940. It's what I like to do. I did over an hour on the tread climber. That's 2 wins. I did my cold shower, and by the time before the cold shower, I took a protein shake. That's 4 wins within that hour and a half of being awake. So no work today. As you can tell, I'm at my house still, so just trying to get more out of it because I don't really have a lot going on. So I don't want to just do 2 45-minute workouts and read and drink a gallon of water and count that as like difficult. It's live hard, it's not live easy. So what I do whenever I'm off is I try to find more things to do that make it more difficult, which is something that I have a habit of waking up and doing that cardio. So I just don't count it. It's something I enjoy doing. It gets my body moving. I get my mind right whenever I'm doing it. And also my lower back is real jacked up, just herniated discs, and just keeping that movement, that mobility stays in there and the swelling stays down, which staying on a good diet does that as well. If you notice, whenever you eat clean foods compared to when you're eating fried stuff and stuff that's processed and just junk food, you just feel more inflamed. That inflammation is there, the seed oils, the processed sugars, all those things create inflammation in the body, which ends up leading to disease. So when you can keep that out of it as much as you can, you're gonna feel better. That inflammation won't be there. If you have stiff lower backs, if cold weather makes you have issues in your body, don't enhance it by having a poor diet. And that's just something I can't express enough. It's just, a lot of people never notice it. They don't realize how bad they actually feel until they correct it. And then they're like, whoa, I didn't know I really felt that bad because I feel so good now. Like I went out for I was 20, or some people didn't even feel good when they were 20. And they have to relate that good feeling back to even further. Some people have just never felt good, and then they find that good feeling just by getting on a good diet and a good program like this, especially 75 hard. That's going to correct years of poor choices and lack of discipline, and just create you being on a better path to becoming what you want to be. It's not going to instantly put you there in 75 days, but you're going to be on your way. But yeah, other than that, still no problems with the diet, like day 3, you know what I mean? So I feel like I'm getting a little bit used to the cold showers. It is, I don't know, something about cold showers in the winter. Obviously, the water's a lot colder in the ground because the ground's colder. But in the summertime, I'm all for turning that thing to cold. But it's still like probably 60 degree, 70 degree water. I don't really know, but it's not cold like it is today. I get out and I'm like, I feel like I took an ice bath whenever I get out of it. So it's difficult. I make it difficult. I turn around in there and it gets all over me. I'm not just standing there with it spraying on my leg or anything. And you don't need to do that either. So that's what everybody has said that does do these things, whether it's the cold plunge or the cold showers, you're going to end up getting used to it probably within a week. So looking forward to that. We'll see. I'll let you know though. And, but that, other than that, drinking a gallon of water, no problem for me, but it can become a problem whenever you're, it's cold outside. Most people do not drink enough water in the wintertime. Whether even people that work physically laboring jobs, you just don't really think about it as much because it's not hot, and you don't realize you're losing as much fluid as you are because you're constantly needing to rehydrate. If you're out, shoveling or whatever, you're sweating, you need to replace that water. So just stay on top of that, especially if you're doing this program. You just need to spread it out throughout the day, so that way you don't get to the end of the day and have a half a gallon left that you have to chug or stay up to finish, and then you're up half the night going to the bathroom. You don't want to put yourself in a bind to set up the next day for a bad day with lack of sleep, and then it just becomes a domino effect where you start trying to catch up instead of just going with the motion and keeping a good strict schedule and managing your time correctly and doing the tasks, spread out enough to where it's not all at once or forced to be all at night or anything like that, something that's going to keep you awake. It's like not ideal to need to do a workout right before you go to bed. Some people can do a workout and go straight to sleep, but a lot of people are going to be amped up from that workout and have a hard time going to sleep. It just depends on what you do and who you are as a person. But today, mostly one thing I wanted to cover was the reason I joined First Phorm Legionnaire program was because of I said this before, is because what they stand for. And they have a list of core values that I want to bring up that I believe in, and it's something that you should think about and decide of what your core values are. What are your core values? You can leave that in the comments. I like to interact with you guys. A lot of positive messages come through, people that are on the program. People in this community aren't going to really talk negatively to each other. We're going to lift each other up. We want all of us to do it. If you're on day 20 of 75 hard, it doesn't matter if you're on that day or if you're on day 15 of phase 3. We all want each other to excel. We can offer advice, how we overcame those days, or if you're having a hard time, just reach out and ask anybody that is doing it. We all have different outlooks on what worked for us, but ultimately it just comes down to you forcing yourself to do the things no matter what, no matter how you feel, no matter how the weather is, no matter how much time you have. Just doing it. So no excuses, no compromises. But the core values listed that I want to talk about is what I said First Phorm stands for and why I believe in the company and the people that run it, like Andy and Chris and Sal and Emily. But the core values they have listed are loyalty is the first one. You need to be loyal. You don't need to be the type of person that goes behind people's backs and tries to get over on people and try to make money that way by stepping on people's toes or shoulders, or however you want to say it. You need to be loyal. Loyalty needs to be one of your highest core values. Staying humble. You need to stay humble because you don't want to be walking around and everybody think you're arrogant or cocky. You need to be willing to help other people when they're down or lift them up and not just think that you're better than anybody else, because you're not. We're all human. We're all here. We all need to help each other out. And the best thing in life that you could do is give and or help other people when they're down. You can help people overcome the things that you have overcame, or show them how that you overcame them and they can learn that way. Or you can just be there to be a person that is willing to listen to them talk. You need to be able to accept the responsibility. Nobody likes a person that puts off blame on everybody else whenever it's clearly your fault, so to speak. You need to be able to acknowledge whenever you are wrong, and if you did something wrong, or it could be right, you could have done something great, you need to accept responsibility no matter what the situation is. You need to be able to lead by example. That's a huge one for me, because where we are right now, in this group of people that are watching this, or in this group of the 75 hard program, or the First Phorm program, or whichever program that fits in this bubble, leading by example is what's going to change the rest of society. We have a culture where, the victimhood is prevalent, and everybody wants to have the biggest sob story. That doesn't need to be the case anymore. We need to be able to show people that, yes, it's hard, but it can be done. And if you're willing to put in the work consistently, people are going to see that in you, and they're going to ask you, what you're doing to be able to have that leadership mentality, that role model mentality. And you need to be able to set the example for the people in your family, the people that you're friends with, the people that you interact with on the internet. You don't need to be the type of person that's, telling somebody what to do and then doing something else. You don't want to be 350 pounds and telling people how to lose weight or stay in shape. It's just not going to sit very well. And Andy talks about that a lot. He used to be 350 pounds, so he really talks about how he felt whenever he was up on stage and whenever he realized how he actually looked, and before he started, taking control of that, he felt like an imposter. And that's not something that you want to feel like. You want to be able to be comfortable and confident with yourself and the message that you're putting out, and be able to relate to the people that you're putting it out to, so that way they can see it in you, what they can build in themselves. The next one is to always be learning. You don't want to have a closed mind. You want to be able to be open up to new ideas, new strategies. There's always things that you don't know. There's always different ways to do the same thing. You can there might be 10 ways to do one certain thing. Not any one of them has to be the best. But if you have a closed mind, you're never going to find out which one's the best, because you're going to be stuck doing the same one that you choose to do. But that's not always a good idea. You want to be able to maximize your output. And the best way to do that is to always be learning new ideas, new strategies, new techniques. Just keep that in mind. Whenever you're around other people, you want to be enthusiastic. One thing about energy is you can feel it in a group of people. If somebody's negative and they just have a bad attitude, it just kind of, throws everything off. People don't want to be around you. They want to have a positive person, somebody that's going to be uplifting and motivating. And if that's not you and you're down a lot, even if you have to fake it till you get to where you're comfortable being that way, because I know in my past I was just the person with the resting face, the mean face, or just the bad attitude. I wasn't happy with who I was, so I wasn't going to be happy with anybody I was interacting with. And that's just not the way to be. You need to be uplifting and be ready to motivate somebody at a given moment, or be accepting of new ideas, but with a good attitude. Whenever there's always going to be an opportunity to do one more. You see, if you've read Ed Milet's book, The Power of One More, essentially is go the extra mile. You want to put in the work now, so that way you get, whether you're paid for it now, you want to be doing it either way, because if you continue to do it, you'll be rewarded in the future, and then you'll be paid for stuff that you're not even doing. That's somebody's quote. I may have been Zig Ziglar, but I'm probably wrong. It's basically do the work now, do the extra work now, whether you're paid for it or not, and in the future you'll be rewarded for your efforts. I butchered it a little bit, but anyways, you want to be disciplined. Discipline is the most important thing that I think that you can build in yourself. The best way to build discipline is to do 75 hard. Hands down, the best way to build discipline is doing 75 hard. I don't know of any other way or any other program. There might be some that you know of that are great, but I don't know of them, and I've never done them. But I haven't done a lot of programs, so I'm not the best person to talk about this. But building discipline is how you build the confidence in yourself, and it also is how you get rid of the anxiety that you built up and the stress that you have of what's to come. Whenever you're disciplined, you know that you're going to overcome no matter what comes your way. You're going to do whatever it takes, and you're not going to make excuses or any compromises and cut corners along the way. You're not going to not sweep the corner of the floor whenever you're sweeping up. You're not going to leave water all over the sink whenever you get done when washing your hands. Those little things, as you do them throughout your life, are how you build discipline. It's not just going to the gym. Excuse me. It's not just eating correctly. It's not just these things that we have a label on as creating discipline. A lot of people can have discipline. A lot of people that are overweight have discipline. It's just the wrong one. They're disciplined in constantly going to the snack or going to sit on their phone. That's technically a discipline, right? I mean, I may be wrong, but some people just need to be corrected on their disciplines. They need to change what they're disciplined in. And I think if you're doing something consistently over and over and over again, that would be the definition of discipline. And there's negative and positive disciplines, and you need to be able to understand which one that you have in your life. You need to be able to take initiative. Everybody likes somebody that steps up to the plate whenever it's time for a big calling. You want to say, let's say for me, whenever I'm out in the oil field, there's plenty of stuff going on. Who's going to do it? Or that's a bad example. Say there's a job going on. Who's going to step up and to go do it? Or who's going to come do this job? They like the people, your bosses, the people in charge, they're going to like somebody that takes charge and steps up. Whether there's somebody else that's already there that's going to do it, you need to at least be willing to put in the work, willing to basically offer yourself as the solution to the problem. I mean, there's probably a lot of different examples. This is just one that was in my life, how there may be jobs that come up that other people aren't going to want to do. I'll go do it. I don't really care if it's one day and I have to drive 6 hours to go do it. I'll go do it. I'll take the initiative and I'll go do it. If you're walking through the gym and there's a towel or a piece of paper towel on the ground from somebody else that just left it there, you need to take the initiative and pick that up, to go throw it away. Somebody else is going to see that. That's like the cart analogy. If you're not going to put your shopping cart away, it just really reflects on the type of person you are, probably the way your house looks, and the lack of initiative that you take. You want to build positive relationships. That's a huge thing. A lot of people will, including me, put off putting out too much information to other people, not wanting to meet new people. I'm bad about this. I don't really like getting out of my comfort zone of the people that I do know. I don't interact with a lot of people, and then it seems like whenever I do, it's always a good outcome. But I'm just now getting to that point where I'm actually, trying to find those good relationships and build up some type of group of strong individuals. Another thing you want to do is be selfless. That's big. It doesn't always need to be about you. You need to be willing to go above and beyond, no matter if it's for somebody else or if it's for your family or if it's for you. You want to be the type of person that it's all about, I need to make as much money as I can so I can go do this, or I need to be able to do this. Me. That doesn't need to be how it is. You do need to make yourself the number one priority. That's something about this that does need to be said. That's kind of like put your oxygen mask on first on the airplane whenever it loses cabin pressure, because you won't be able to help anybody else. So you have to build yourself into a person that's leading and then setting the example for your family, for your friends, or whoever, and also be willing to put out that what you did to fix yourself and how you did it and show the way. But I do think building yourself into the individual that you are proud of does need to come as you're being selfless. And then the last thing is believing in yourself. A lot of my life, I didn't believe in myself. Nobody was there whenever I was growing up to tell me to believe in myself. Nobody showed me the way of how to believe in myself. It wasn't until I was probably in my later teens till I started meeting people in a adult powerlifting group. There was a gym in the town I grew up in, a group of probably 30-something-year-old people, big guys, powerlifter guys. One of the guys squatted 1,025. I spotted him. This wasn't fake. He had a squat suit. It was at a meet. There's a record of it. He benched 705 and he squatted 705. So his total was 2435 at a powerlifting meet. It was 308 pounds. So that's super heavy. Maybe it was just 308. Anyways, this was back in 2007 or so. But whenever I was around those people, they were all, alpha. They were all disciplined in what they were doing. They were all uplifting, and they were showing us as kids how to have confidence, how to believe in ourselves. And I think that was the first glimpse of having any belief in myself. And then after that, it kind of just faded away until I started listening to Andy. Really, there was just a lot of my life where I felt like I was owed something because I didn't have the best upbringing, or I didn't have what other people had. I had this bad attitude where I was jealous and negative and playing a victim. And nowadays, it's just completely different. You have to do things that are difficult and start seeing results and get people to realize who you are and believe in yourself that way, because I think that's most important. You can have people that your spouse, your family, your dad, or your mom, they can believe in you, but believing in yourself is the most important of those people that are believing in you, because you're not going to do anything with what you are taught or what you have learned if you aren't believing in yourself first. So that's the list. $12 or 13 key core values. Leave a message in the comments. What are something that you would add to that? Those were why I believe in Phorm, and the belief, the value that they provide, and the example that they set. If you already know most of the stuff that I'm talking about. If I'm referring to Phorm, you've seen the state of the art facility. You've seen how they don't leave any speck of garbage on the ground, or they don't leave their weights facing a different way, or everything's just perfect, spotless. And that just needs to be the way that you live your life, and set up the things that, if you have a team, or if you have your family, or whatever it is that you're in control of, you need to build up a core value system, so that way you can have, the best for them, and also set the example for everybody else. So tonight at 7, it's 5/17, January 17th. I don't think this video will be posted by the time it's on, but live at 7 at realamericanfreedom.com, there is new bison gear. You could probably get the same hat, I would assume, but there's going to be new things that weren't there last time. It will sell out in a few minutes, so I will upload this just so in case somebody watches it before then, they will know. But andyfrisella.com, you can get the pre-sale of the book on mental toughness. That's what I'm reading right now. It's already great. The book of 75 Hard was great to get you started on what to expect. This is above and beyond that. For everything as far as Live Hard and 75 Hard part of it, and just a lot more stuff that's never been talked about, that Andy's never talked about. So put your order in for that. If it's still available for pre-sale or for the next sale, you need to get in on that. The Freedom gear, if you need Phorm supplements, I'd appreciate it if you use my link. I will put that in the description. Right now I'm using their Formula 1 protein, their essential amino branch chain amino hydration blend. I have their ignition carb source. I have their Phorm energy drinks, their megawatt pre-workout, and microfactor vitamin daily vitamin packs. If you haven't seen those, it's just something you don't ever want to go without. It's got everything that you could need all in one pack. You can take it with you anywhere you go. You can take it at any time each day. something that you won't want to ever stop taking whenever you get in on it. And anything that you buy at firstphorm.com is guaranteed with 110% refund. So if you don't like anything that you get, you could send it back for 110% of your money. Nobody else offers that. So if you do that, please use my link. I appreciate you guys sending positive comments. It makes me feel good that other people are getting motivation out of what I'm talking about. Sometimes I don't feel confident whenever I'm on this. I get to where I'm stuttering or forgetting what I'm talking about or what I'm about to say because I want to use a certain word and that word didn't come, and then I just forget what I was even going to say. So I'm trying to get better at it. This took me a few days whenever I was doing the 75 days, so I'm still getting back into being used to doing this, but I'm going to put out a message either way. That's part of my power list tasks for this program. So you're going to see videos each day. You're going to see posts on my Facebook for First Phorm products. And today I listened to a podcast by Brad Lee, Nick, I believe it's his newest episode. It was pretty good about basically group coaching and how to get people to change and stop being liars and not be disloyal and those type of things. So check that out if you're into podcasts. That was a pretty good one. And you can check out that person's coaching setup. Nick Riviana, I think it was Nick Riviana. Just listened to it while I was on my walk. So check that out. Any other time during the week, I'll listen to Andy or Ed, but I was already out of episodes to listen to, so went to that. But yeah, that's all I got for today. I'm gonna upload this and do my reading. I gotta take my picture. There's still a couple things I gotta do. I need to get more in a routine of actually taking my picture as part of my first of the morning win list, because that's when you look the best. You haven't ate all day, like you would if you took it at night. You've eaten all day. You're gonna look better. Your best of the day, you're gonna look right when you wake up. So after you do your morning cardio or whatever it is, it's good to just snap that picture, take your shower, get your cold shower in, and get on with the day. Look forward to doing the difficult things. That's huge. I know I'm complaining, it sounds like, about the cold showers, but it's new to me and it sucks, but you will get used to it. And even though it sucks, and I tell you that it sucks, the feeling that I have whenever I get done with it is just amazing. More than like the dopamine effect that comes from just doing it in general. Knowing that I just did that because really I just did it because the program said to do it. Nobody's like telling me I needed to go do it, but the program is getting me to do it, which is something that's outside of my comfort zone, something that's probably not ever something that I would want to do. In the summertime, like I said, it's no big deal. It's hot outside. You're usually working. It feels good. The water's not as cold. But in the winter right now, like I said, I'll get a thermometer. I don't think it's going to be as cold anymore. This morning it was like 10 degrees here. I live in North Texas. Right now, like I said, it was like 48, but it was windy, so it felt a lot cooler. But just got to get it done. No matter what the condition is, use common sense. Obviously, don't go out in a tornado. But I remember I was doing 75 hard. It was one of the only times it rained, and I was out in my driveway doing the speed bag, and there was a wicked lightning storm going on. I'm sitting here punching this metal frame, basically, and that was the only time I was nervous, just trying to get that 45 minutes out of the way. It was just crazy. I have a video of it, but it was raining a little bit that day, just pouring down, and but yeah, use common sense. There's probably not going to be any tornadoes depending on where you live, but there's going to be cold days. There's more cold weather coming. We're just in the middle of we're just getting to the beginning of the cold weather. So it was a little delayed this year, it seemed like, but I know February, March, it's still going to be cold. So use common sense, wear layers, don't get hypothermia or anything like that. And that's all I got. I'm going to get off here. I'll be back tomorrow for day 4. Peace.